Perplexity just launched a new browser called Comet, and it's something really interesting. Let's dive into it. So what is this browser in general about? So it is AI-assisted browser, and instead of different other browsers that we look through like Dia, this one is really the agent browser. So that means that it can act on your behalf, which is really, really important and different way of doing stuff instead of it takes it completely to another level. So of course, for techies, of course, this is still a Chrome browser. And I think you heard they were trying to buy the Chrome if they could do it, but of course they didn't manage it. But whatever, it's not important. The most important thing is what is it about and how it works. And if you look here, of course, so how to get it is you need to have a pro account on Perplexity, and you need to have either invite or you need to subscribe for the waiting list, and waiting list will be probably, for me it was like a month or so. So yeah, but you can also get possibly a invite. I think I have a two still, so if you want, feel free to write a comment and maybe I'll manage to give you one. And yeah, but other than that, if you look closely, it looks similar to Perplexity itself. So you have labs, you have research, you have the search, and with Pro, you have the same, you can pick the models for this generic one, let's say. And you have also like sources. So this whole thing is still as it was before. Of course, this is not what we are interested about. And what we are interested in is this browser really can is an agent browser. So that means is that if we'll go to the Airbnb, what we can write is like, search me some flats in Prague for next week using the Airbnb, which we actually did before. And in other browsers, you cannot really do actions. So when something is open, you cannot really do anything, but here we can. One more thing you can point is you don't have an option to pick a model. So that means whatever you search or do actions, it's not specific model. So if you really want to use ChatGPT, or Gemini, you don't have an option to do it here. So that's the only thing. And again, that means that it's somehow closed source. So you don't know really what you're using. You don't know how smart it is. But well, here, no questions. To Dia, there was a questions. I don't know which model because it was typing, right? And here it's kind of action. So depends how they will figure out. And while we were talking, like you can also go and grab a coffee. And it can do stuff for you. So the same way, if you're a developer, you can write Cloud Code and say like, hey, figure out this thing, and you go to grab a coffee. The same thing now the business people or anyone can do with just, searching. So exactly what I asked, search for me some places. It found houseboat in Prague #2, so it just gave me this. And let's go again into the topic. So of course you can chat with the content of the page. What you can also do is you can open a few of them, right? And you can start, for example, a new one. And what you can do is you can basically find me cheapest Airbnb from the list. What you can then do is you can hit an add, and then you can select specific pages. Of course, in this case, it's a really bad example of what should not really Perplexity do, so maybe they'll optimize this. But you basically can hit, and it will give you the answer across the pages, which is really important sometimes when you do some mind mapping, right? Okay, here's the information on one page, here's the information on another, and you need to connect. In this case, it's actually going into these pages, which was not expected, but okay, whatever. Let's see how it will do it. And yeah, drinking coffee while watching how browser is working. Another topic that I touched in Dia browser is off-screen search. And if you are on specific position, and then I'm just asking what's the 10th root comment on a page, and it gives me where did the traffic come from. So it's not really 10th, but it's kind of close enough. So I think it was here. Maybe it was 10th. So it's kind of working, right? And the same thing about extraction of the content. It is a lot better than the Dia. So you have really the content itself. I asked to just give me a CSV, and yeah, it just kind of gave possibly this extracted from the context, but it's okay. It's okay. So we can, for example, open this person. Hopefully, let's see, and it is working page, so it's working quite well. Another point is my favorite comparison is TLDR. So I'm not really a fan of watching some of YouTube topics. Sometimes they're just too long or boring. So maybe you can try also to do it on my video. But I just do too long, didn't read. And yeah, and it is actually working. So the same thing I was doing with the Gemini, it kind of works here. Not sure how perfect it is, but it's better than nothing, right? that's kind of, yeah, so it was still actually doing something, which is maybe it drifted off a bit. It's trying to control the page, but in general, I would say the cross page, so we'll just keep it. It works quite good. And going back to the Google Maps topic, sadly, it doesn't really work well in terms of still using the position. So even though the map is open, it tried to like zoom in, zoom out, and didn't really see this flora or whatever pages or titles. And yeah, that's still, there is no vision of the map, which can be sometimes important thing when you are doing something. One more interesting thing I would say that I didn't really specify, or I will not go deep into this, is you can connect your own MCPs, so Model Context Protocol, which means that you can add to this assistant something additional outside, for example, access to your database or something that you can also, let's say, by browsing LinkedIn, you have your own database of clients or something information that you can kind of use to inject the information into the communication, let's say. So yeah, from good stuff I just showed, overall it's quite good browser. From minuses, what I would say is you cannot really do something long. So if you want to, for example, search in the browser, yeah, it gave me the information, but I don't think it did really well. So you cannot really do stuff like, okay, go to the Airbnb and search all the listings until you find the one that passes my criteria. What it will do, most likely, is it will start. It will look through 5 pages, maybe do some more searches or different searches, and then it will just stop. That's it. So, and like the idea of an assistant that it can offload some of your mental capacity or like context, whatever, and you just say, okay, do it until you can finish it, no matter what, 1 hour, whatever. And then you just forget, and then in 1 hour you come back and it's already done. So this you cannot do right now. Maybe this is like first versions, let's say, who knows, but this is quite sadly limiting thing. And another limiting thing is, so what I'm doing usually is I'm taking multiple listings, I'm opening them, and then I have special prompt that, I'm not doing it with this, I'm doing it with a Flex, for example. I have special prompt that will fill in the questionnaire on a page. And many times you need to click proceed, which is not clickable. So this is like so you don't do too much. And yeah, frankly, these two things are quite lowering the quality of the browser for now. Maybe if you have this max account for $200, maybe. Yeah, but right now this is a big drawback. Regardless, still with this drawback, this is so far the best browser in all of them. Another thing that I was doing, and you can also do, but I will not show it too much, but is the one use case I really found really interesting is you can copy over a music from one account to another. So I have here my Spotify. I really like this techno something, ambient dub techno mix, which is I found only on Spotify. And what I can do is I can just say, hey, transfer the music from here to here. And this is basically exactly what was done. I have the list of all of my music from this thing just transferred by Perplexity Comet. So that's it. Would I pay for this browser in the near future? Yes, I would say this can save sometimes somewhere. I would keep it as Perplexity addition, let's say. So I would pay for Perplexity, and this will be a nice addition that you're already paying for in this $20 package. On its own, of course, I would not pay additional money for this, but it's a good direction to take. Of course, there's still no auto-completion that I really like, but hey, it's a good start. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.